Hey, lovely people of the entire, it's Gabriel and welcome to us. So today I'm here with Patricia, and Patricia has been a colleague of mine in secondary school, and today she is a doctor at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and I'm going to have a conversation with her, basically on how, the medical field is here in Ghana and the differences between what's happening here in Ghana and what's happening in other parts of the world. So welcome, Patricia.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the conversation is going to be divided into two main structures. The first one being about your school, your journey through school, because I know things happening here might be totally different from what's happening out there. And then what's happening to you at the hospital, how it goes, which grade do you move from, and what do you start with, and when do you even start the medical journey? The hospital. So for most part, people always compare schools. So which school did you attend?
I went to KNUST, that's the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
So tell me, why did you choose this particular school?
Well, I chose the school because of the reviews from past students, and I think it was a great one and amazing, so I decided to go there.
Oh, okay. So how many years is the school like? Because mostly for me, medical school at my end, it's 7 years. But I don't know how it works over. How long do you go to school for?
So it's 6 years. It's in two parts. The first 3 years, after that, you earn a BSc in human biology. Then you continue with the clinical years, which is also for 3 years. And when you are done with that 3 years, you are going to earn a bachelor in medicine, bachelor in surgery, which we call the MDCHB. And that is the professional medical degree.
So people would ask surgery because most people don't know that, you have specialty where you finish your medical school and become surgeon. Is it part of the medical school, or is there a specific thing that you guys do? That's why you earn a bachelor in surgery as well.
So when we say medicine involves everything about seeing patients, including surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, and then all of that. So all of that make up the BS, the bachelor in surgery and then bachelor in medicine. It doesn't make you a specialist, it just makes you someone who can practice generally. Yeah, so if you want to become a surgeon, you'd have to further your education afterwards.
Yeah, foreigners do come to the country to study actually, and I believe you've seen some of them, right? Yeah. In our field, well, I'm also a medical student. In our field, what happens is that anytime you finish study, you do write board exams, what someone would call licensure exams, right? So I would want to know if the medical curriculum, what you guys do in the school, prepare individuals for their respective board exams in their country, because foreigners will come to the school.
You mean if it prepares them for their board exams in a different country other than Ghana?
Other than Ghana, yeah.
All right, so if it's about the board exams in their country, I think it depends. We are being trained well, and if you have the knowledge, you've been trained, I think you should be able to excel at any board exams, but then it's not focused on preparing you for exams outside other countries. It's basically based on making you a doctor. So if you become a doctor, you should be well equipped to pass other board exams.
So if I agree that you don't need board exams to be a good doctor, what you've learned in school is already enough.
Well, you don't need board exams to be a good doctor. It's just a way of testing your knowledge and testing how well you can be. But it goes beyond the board exams.
All right. So in Ghana, do you write board exams after the medical school, or it's integrated in the process of your school?
So in Ghana, right after medical school, we don't take any board exams. I know preparations are underway to introduce a form of licensure exams, but as of now, we don't take a licensure exam. After school, we do a provisional registration with the Medical and Dental Council. And after the provisional registration, you are expected to do a compulsory 2 years of housemanship. And after the housemanship period, then you become eligible to apply for a permanent registration with the Medical and Dental Council.
And so when that happens, you start working or what?
When what happens?
When you register with the board. do you start working straightforward, or you have to apply to the hospitals to work?
You mean after the permanent registration or after the
permanent registration?
Okay, so after the permanent...
Because you do the housemanship before you register, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So what happens after?
So after the permanent registration, it means that you can legally practice in medicine in Ghana. That's what it means. So you could apply to any hospital of your choice, and then when you are recruited, you can start working.
So you don't get posted?
So the posting is for those who want to be in the public sector. I am in the public sector. So if you want to be in the public sector, you'd have to wait for the Ministry of Health to open a portal to recruit new doctors. But if you want to go to the private sector, you can just apply to whichever facility you want to, and then if you meet their requirements, they pick you and then you can work.
So are there any advantages of studying in Ghana?
Well, advantages of studying in Ghana. Well, first of all, if Ghana is your home, you have family around, you have that social support, you have emotional support, you have the support of family. I think it's a great thing. It's great to have family around. You can easily go home. You have all the support. I think that's one advantage. And Ghana is a developing nation. There are lots of opportunities here that can be explored. So studying here, I think is also one advantage. There are lots of things you can look into. You can find a lot of problems to easily solve. I mean, the world is a better place when we solve problems. So in a developing country like this, I think you have that advantage. Yeah.
So it means that you were speaking for yourself. Let's say someone is a foreigner and he wants to study here. What are the advantages he could get studying here?
Well, the advantages for a foreigner, they are away from home. So, but Ghana is a cool place to be. Nice environment, serene, peaceful. I think for that alone is a plus. And also we have amazing lecturers, we have amazing doctors, consultants, you name it. I mean, there are people in Ghana who are doing big things. So if you're a foreigner and then you come in, you get someone to supervise you, you have a vision, you have a goal. I think Ghana is a great place to be.
Interesting. Let's move away from school, all right? Let's get into the hospital. So which year do you guys start going to the hospital?
You mean?
Not as school,
as medical students?
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the first 3 years is preclinical. So from your 4th year is the clinical year. You start going to the hospital, start having rotations.
Are there specific departments that you guys go to, and what do you even do after when you go to these departments?
Yeah, so the curriculum is different yearly. So every year you're expected to rotate through some specific departments.
Yeah, I see. So there are certain departments that you guys will have to do regardless. Like it's no matter, for me, for instance, there are certain departments that we never do.
Okay.
All right. For me, I've never been in the dermatology department.
Oh.
All right. But I would like to know, are you able to do all the departments before you complete the school? Or there are certain...
we're able to. Once you are rotating through the wards, you see a variety of cases. You end up seeing cases from all departments by the time you are finishing.
You do see the cases, but then as in when you go to this particular department, it's known to be dermatology cases, and that's the only thing you see for the rest of the month or 4 weeks that you'll be there.
Oh yeah, we had to rotate through dermatology as well. There were a few cases on the wards we saw, and then we saw some in the clinics too.
So just to say, what happens is that hospitals are affiliated to schools, right? I believe that the school you went to made you go a certain hospital.
Yeah.
Now, assuming this hospital does not have this, how do you call it? All these departments, what do you guys do? For instance, it doesn't have the traumatology department. What happens?
Well, I haven't encountered that, but then I have colleague doctors who schooled in schools that were affiliated to hospitals that didn't have all the departments, and what they do is that they go and have some of the rotations externally in other hospitals that could offer them that experience.
Yeah, I know you pay school fees from the beginning, right? But then going to the hospital, are you paid for going to the hospital? Because I believe you should be paid because you are working.
We are not paying any amount of money, no allowance.
No allowance.
Yeah.
All right. So that means whatever you paid at school is what is being deducted for your rotation, because I believe you have to pay a certain amount to the hospital before you can use their equipment. Is that what happens?
Well,
or you pay
we don't pay any amount to the hospital. We only pay academic fees to our university. So if any transaction goes on between the hospital and then the university, that I'm not aware about.
Okay, so when do you start to be autonomous? To be on your own, to make decisions alone? When does it start from?
Yeah, the only time you get to make decisions on your own, you mean as a doctor, it's after your permanent registration. Yeah.
So regardless of whatever you do, you'd have to see a superior.
Yeah, you always have to be supervised.
There are different grades of doctors, right? Yeah. So I would like you to walk me through these grades. Let's say, because people would like to know, when do you become a medical officer? When do you become a houseman? Who are you when you are not a houseman? Those kind of things. And then, if you are paid, how much are you paid? I mean, estimation. Because definitely I'll ask that time, and people are also willing to hear you talk about that.
School, when you become a doctor, as I mentioned, the first step is to do 2 years of housemanship. So that period, you are called a house officer. After housemanship, you register permanently. You become an MO, which we call a medical officer. Yes, and when you become a medical officer, after 3 years of practicing as a medical officer, you are being promoted to a senior medical officer, and then it goes on. But then you don't have to necessarily rise through the ranks. You can go and specialize, and then you skip some of these ranks.
All right, so now we talk about the money, because that's what most of my people want to know. Is this something that is enough or sufficient, or is there more they have to do to it? What do you have to tell us about it?
Okay, I'm not going to mention specific figures.
Yeah. But you're going to be honest.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest.
Because this is something most of the people hide from us, so we'd like to know.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have the notion that doctors earn a lot of money, but honestly, doctors don't earn so much in this part of the world. They earn relatively okay amounts. I mean, it's okay to not make you poor, but then it's not okay to make you rich. I mean, we all came in thinking that, okay, we're going to, earn so much more, but then we are earning lower than what we expected. But it can get better. I mean, and the amount also increases a bit when you specialize and then when you rise through the ranks. So it's not so bad.
It's not so bad. But then, how much? You made mention that you give us an estimation or a range. How much is the range?
No, I didn't say I was going to give you an estimation.
Okay, you are going to give me a range. You said it.
Well, I mentioned that I wasn't going to put figures to it.
You are not going to put figures to it?
Yeah. I'm not going to
But that's
give
what
any
my
range.
people are interested in.
I'm not going to.
You are not going to.
Well, when it has to do with salaries, I mean, I think it's best to...
Because does it differ from people to people, or is that the reason why you don't want to put figure to it?
No, it doesn't differ from people to people. I mean, it differs from your level. I mean, if you're a house officer, you're all earning the same amount.
But when
you're
you are
medical
colleagues,
officers, pardon?
It's the same amount when you are
if
colleagues.
If you are colleagues, it's the same amount. Yeah.
Okay, at least, not for an MO, house officer.
For a house officer. I don't think I'm going to be doing the house officers any good by putting their salaries out there. So if you know any house officer personally, and then they are willing to tell you,
so why is that
the amount
you guys
of money
don't put it out there?
Then
is it too good to be placed out there? People will judge you that you guys are taking more money.
No, it's not too good to be put out there. I mean, we are not taking as much money as most people expect. But then I believe that the issue of salaries is supposed to be somewhat confidential and then personal. I mean, you don't go around asking people how much they earn.
How much the president earns. Do you? I'm asking.
I don't care about how much the president earns, honestly. I don't know how much he earns.
You've not read it in news before?
I haven't.
You don't know anybody whom you know how much he or she earns?
I don't know the amount anybody earns. I just know that it's speculated that, okay, people within this
people say you guys
people who do this particular jobs might be earning higher, but I don't know any specific figures.
All right, so we will be finalizing our conversation. But should you have another opportunity outside Ghana as a medical officer, would you take it? And why?
I would.
Why?
Well, I believe we don't have it all in Ghana, and we don't know it all. And it's best to have some foreign exposure, know how things are done in other places, and if the money is better than Ghana too, why not?
You'd consider it?
Of course.
All right, thank you for having you on. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
I did.
Yeah, you enjoyed the conversation.
I did.
And yeah, this has been it, guys. Do subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. Whatever question you have, I'm going to put her Instagram handle. Then you can channel all your questions to her, because there are certain things that she said you should ask someone you know. So to be able to do that confidently, then yeah, it's up to you. And so see you guys in the next one. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right.
That's okay.
I did it.
I'm sure you are going to have a lot of behind the scenes.
I know, right? So let's move away from school. Let's move away from hospital. Come on, what's happening? Okay, let's go.
Master courage. Huh? Talk in the mic. Talk in the mic. Hey, what did I do? You see that now? She said I want to do it. She sees camera.